What's up guys, it's Human the Guy. Today I'm going to be showing you this redstone bowling alley that I designed, and I'm going to be trying to keep this video as short as possible. The last video that I recorded, it cut out probably about 2 minutes before I would have finished recording the video, and just how it worked out, I had to start completely over. But we're going to get back into it today, and I'm going to try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. So, you're looking at the basic design. This is the little bowling area. I tried to make it look nice. And that is the bowling alley. You throw items in here, and as you can see in this chest, I have some Hearts of the Sea. I'll take a stack so I can give you guys an example. These lights here represent the 10 bowling pins, so if you throw it, it will knock some of them over. If you throw it and it goes in the side or the gutter, then those lights will light up and show you that it was a gutter ball. I have a lever and a button here to demonstrate that you can use both of these to reset the pins after you've knocked them over, and I will also show you later how to hook both of them up. But for now, I will go ahead and show you some bowling. And as I'm doing this, I'll kind of explain how I have it set up. So, there's a total of 6 different possibilities that can happen. One is that. I just bowled a strike first try. That's pretty lucky. So I'll go ahead and reset with the lever here. You can see that works. So one is a strike. One knocks over just some of the middle pins. 2 of them knock over different amounts of the pins on the right. That's one of them. 2 of them knock over different amounts of pins on the left. So since in bowling you get 2 throws per turn, I'll go ahead and do a second throw, see if I can get lucky. Knock over any more of these. I did, got the front 2. So that's pretty good. And here's the button. Works just as well. So I'll do a couple more throws. I'll try to throw a gutter ball, just give you guys an example. Where it hit the hoppers kind of early there, it'll take a while for the lights to come on. But there they are, those are the gutter ball lights. Since the item has to actually travel down this row of hoppers, it can take a minute for them to come on if they enter the hoppers early. But here I'll throw it down, see if I can get some other possibilities just to show you guys, but then I will fly around back. So there's some of the middle pins. I might have to get lucky to hit more than just a couple. Well, I guess it's just going straight down the middle. If I get the possibility with a strike, then haha, there it is. Then I knock over the rest of them. So I'll fly up here and I'll show you guys the redstone. This is my rough draft, so to speak. But this is all the redstone, and it might look a little intimidating, but if you've done big redstone things before, you know this really isn't that much, and a lot of the space is just taken up by some command blocks. I'll go ahead and pick these up. These are where the bowling balls get spit out. So, this is the redstone for the gutter ball lights, and these 3 little sections here are 3 randomizers connected to 2 different possible outcomes, and there are 3 hoppers as you can see here and 3 hoppers in there, and each of the hoppers are connected to 2 different possible outcomes. And since you're throwing the item up there and it's getting spit out in this little lane right here, there is actually a good amount of randomized chance when it comes to this. So I've actually had it happen where I throw it in this hopper here on the right side where we are, and it spits it out across to the other side and knocks over pins that wouldn't really make sense in real life. But it adds a cool, fun aspect, and you can make a pretty good game out of it. So I'll come over here super fast. Let me clear my inventory just so I have a clean slate. And these are the 3 basic systems that will go into making this. This one here is the Redstone Randomizer. I have this one hooked up to 2 command blocks for each output. These will clear some redstone lamps that are spawned in by these command blocks. So I'll click this button a few times and show you if it gives this output, then there will be some redstone lamps. If it gives that output, then it will clear the redstone lamps. So I click it, that's the clear. And that's the redstone lamps. That's the clear. clear again, clear, redstone lamps. So as you can see already, it's well randomized. And there, it gave me the redstone lamps 3 times in a row. 5 times. There we go. So this is what you're going to need for it. I will go ahead and tell you that you're going to need 2 items to put in the dropper. It's going to be a non-stackable item, so a sword or armor, and then a stackable item. Here I just have carrots, but you can use literally anything. And then for the redstone, you're going to want a sticky piston, a comparator. In total, you'll want 2 redstone repeaters. One of them is just for the output, though. You'll need 4 redstone dust in total. Again, 3 for the build, 1 for the output. For blocks, you're going to want 10, just for the randomizer. And then you're going to need a dropper, a hopper, 2 observers, and some form of input in the actual mechanism. It will be a redstone signal and not a button, but for this example, I will be using a button. So I'm just going to build this really quick and show you guys. So how you're going to want to start it is making a little plus sign, kind of like that. Break out the middle block, place your first repeater facing to the left like that. Then come over top and 1 block away, place a block and then a block next to it, and 1 coming like that to make a little L. And then you're going to be placing a block off of that repeater, so in the middle here, and then build up 1, place a block there, and break that block below it. And then place 3 redstone dust on this L that you made earlier right there, and 1 more block on top of that piece of redstone dust. So if this is the little plus sign you made at the beginning, that is how it should look. And now you want to come on this side, where you're next to the plus sign, face a piston like that, come the other way and place a dropper on top of the block that the piston is facing into, and a hopper going into that dropper. Then you're going to place your comparator facing out of the hopper, and you can go ahead and put your 2 items into the dropper. And then the last thing that you're going to want to do is your outputs, and your outputs are going to be these 2 places right here. So you want to put redstone dust on the right side here and a repeater on the left, but make sure the repeater is facing out. And then I just use observers to give a little tick pulse. And I'll run a little redstone here just so you can see the different possible outcomes. And also your input block is this one next to the dropper, and next to the dropper and above this repeater. So that's it for the randomizer, and it gives you 2 different possible outputs. It's completely random and dependent on the game's random mechanics, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And now, this next system is very simple, but I love to use it, and I kind of use the same idea in different places. But there will be 3 of these in a row that I will show you guys on this build over here. And how this works is when an item comes down the hoppers into a dropper, or a dispenser, sorry, in this case, then it will send a redstone signal via comparator into this command block, which replaces the block below the dispenser with a redstone block. And then after it does that, sends another redstone signal into this command block, which replaces it with the block that was there before. So if I grab a random item and drop it into this hopper here, you will see that the block below the dispenser gets replaced with redstone and then back to red wool, and that will dispense the item automatically. Just like that. So the materials you'll need to build that are in here. You'll obviously need some building blocks, and for just this one, all I used was 2 command blocks, 1 comparator, and 1 repeater. But there will be 3 of these little systems in that, so you're going to need a total of 6 command blocks, 3 comparators, and 3 repeaters. Just like that. And I'm actually going to put it back in there just to keep my inventory clear. And then this is the last system that will go into it. These are the gutter ball lights, and I even built it out of the same wool. You can see over here how they hook up, And I will build this for you guys really quickly too. What you're going to need is not in that chest. That is my fault. I should have prepped for that. I'm not sure why the chest is empty, but I will grab it out of my inventory. You're going to need a dispenser, because that is what the hoppers are going to be running into. So I'll grab a dispenser. And then I know you're going to need some sort of building material of your choice. And then you're going to need redstone, good amount of repeaters, one comparator per side. You'll need a glass block, and then you're also going to need a redstone torch and a sticky piston, and then the hoppers that will be running into the dispenser. So I'm going to come over here and build it on this side. And I also didn't get out, but I won't be using the redstone lamps that will be used for the pin lights and for the gutter ball lights. So I'm going to build up a few just to give myself space. I'll even build up one more. Just like that. And then your hoppers are, I have it on top of the dispenser over there, but they're going to be running into the dispenser along the gutter. Just make sure they're all running into themselves and down to this dispenser here. And actually, I want the dispenser facing the opposite way. Just like that. And then you want to make sure you come 2 blocks below the dispenser, just like that, and place your redstone torch on that block right there. And then place a block on under the hopper next to the dispenser, or one behind the dispenser. And then leave a block gap and place one more block, and you're going to place your piston off of that one facing into this block. So that way when this piston extends, it will give power to the dispenser from the redstone torch. So now we just need to hook up from the dispenser to the piston, and I will also show you how to hook it up to the lights. So off of this dispenser here, you want to make a little L, and then you're going to place your comparator facing out of the dispenser, a piece of redstone dust, a repeater, leave this one on 1 tick, and another piece of redstone dust. And then going on a stair step up from that is going to be your glass. And then you're going to want a normal building block on a stair step down from it. And you can go ahead and place redstone on both of these. And then all you're going to want to do is from this block here, wrap around this L here, just 1 block below, but extend it further out so that it will line up with the piston. So 1 block further out on this side. And then you're just going to come over here, go ahead and place redstone on the corners where repeaters can't go, and then place your repeaters. I have them all on 3 tick. I like the timing that that gives. You can change it if you want it to be longer or shorter. And then I'll just run redstone there, redstone on the corners, and now the dispenser is hooked up to the piston, so if I drop one of these, it should work. Give a signal, it's delayed, and then piston extends and dispenses the item. And even though the piston is kind of loud, where it's all the way down the bowling lane, you don't hear it, and it's completely quiet, as you heard when I was bowling over there. And then to hook it up to the gutter ball lights, which are just going to be a few up from it, I'll show you the exact dimensions up there. All you're going to do is just run the redstone up in whatever staircase you think works best from the piece of glass. So it'll go like that, and then your lamps will be there, or however you decide to do it. And then you can also run the redstone across, just back behind your builds, to the other redstone lamp that will be on the other side, and that way they will both light up even when just one dropper or one dispenser is just getting it on one side. So that is all of the redstone systems. And I'll go over to this ender chest over here and show you guys just some of the other materials you're going to need for the build that weren't in these. You're going to want to make sure you have some different colored wools. That really helps me keep things organized when I built it. And then whatever building blocks you want, and you're going to want some slabs. I really like the use of slabs. I'll show you where they go. You're obviously going to need a good amount of command blocks. This is going to be a hard thing to build in survival mode unless you have cheats on. And you're going to need ice for the bowling lanes and also 6 water buckets, 3 for each lane. 1 is this one, and then 1 is the lower one I showed you before. So the very first thing I'll do is show you guys the dimensions of the bowling lane. And let me take a quick drink really quick. So, as you can see, I built this above just to make sure you guys could see all the redstone, but if you want to build this underground, once you get back here, you're going to want to make sure you dig down between 11 and 12 blocks. So this is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 blocks up. But as you can see, it's not quite touching the ground there. So between 11 and 12 blocks down is how far you're going to go. And then this whole construction here is a total of 7 blocks wide. The lane itself, as you can see, is 5 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here I just made a little 5x5 square. But this is kind of the customizable area. You can really get creative with how you want your lobby area to look. But starting from here, where you begin to build the ice like that, as you can see, it's 3 wide. The lane itself is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then come down here 23 blocks long. So you're going to want to make sure you have at least this 23 blocks long and 5 wide area for the lane. And as you can see here, I have the slabs on the sides right here, and I really like how they look. I originally had normal blocks there, but it had a bad look to it. And it also makes it seem like you're supposed to come out on the blocks and bowl from there. It's just, I really prefer slabs. So the number of slabs that you're going to want is 6, so that way you have this little corner of water running off to the side, and that actually gives it a little bit of a challenge. It makes it a bit of a challenge to not hit the gutter, because if it gets too close to here, then the water will make the item curve and go into the gutter. So that it just adds an extra little fun flair to the build. And so the next thing I'll show you, which was the second thing I designed, is this gutter ball system, which I just built for you. But as you can see, I have this row of hoppers on the edge, which is the gutter ball. These 3 hoppers right here that are out in the middle and not along the edge are independent. I will show you where they go in just a second. But these all along the edge and even these hoppers here are hooked up to the dispensers, which you can see are just on the very end. And then, just like I built over there, I built off the dispenser in a little L. I have the glass going up like this around the back, and you can see how I connected it to each of the redstone lamps. And this is exactly what I built for you guys, and you just want to do it exactly like that off the dispenser on each side. And just make sure you build them a mirror image from each other so that it's facing out from the rest of the redstone. And so before I get quite into all of that, I will explain to you how these lights up here work and the idea behind them. So each of these lights obviously represents 1 bowling pin. And if I come over here, I already have it set up, and I'll show you where I can click that and the lights turn on. If I come back here, I'll show you how they turn on. Is basically the same idea from the red system over there, which is replacing the blocks behind them with redstone blocks. And then when I want them to go dark, I use command blocks to replace it with air. And I'll show you guys, those are the command blocks down there. Those are the different possibilities. So how I got these coordinates, I'll go ahead and show you, and it's the reason I have these command blocks here, is if I break this and stand on this block that I put 1 below and 1 behind the redstone lamp, if you turn on F3, then you can see over here at block, that is the one that you're standing in, which is in this case the one I want to fill. So it's negative 45, 44, 52, and in this command block I have /fill negative 45, 44, 52 with a redstone block. And the way the fill command works, as I covered in my previous video, if you just want to fill one block, then you just type the coordinate twice. So I have those written in each of these command blocks above them. I'm not actually using these command blocks, and they're not in my finished build over there. But when I set it up, I like to have them, because as I'm filling in these command blocks down here, it's super easy to do this, select all, copy, and paste them into the command blocks down here. And so, now that we have that done, I'll go ahead and explain how these three main hoppers work in the middle. So, these are obviously the hoppers you're aiming for, and if you hit it down the middle, and I come down here, you can see the hoppers go straight down into the dispensers. So if you throw the ball in the middle, it'll go to the middle dispenser and shoot it out. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is also a randomized thing, so if it shoots it out of the middle dispenser there, it's not guaranteed to hit the middle hopper here, but it is obviously more likely. And then from here, this is where I hook it up to the randomizers. And how I did that was hoppers at the end of this ice lane, right at the end of the 8 blocks that the water flow goes. And then the dispensers I have below these hoppers, and they're just facing down. And that's where the extra bowling balls go, or whatever items you use. And then I have comparators facing into repeaters coming out of each of these hoppers, and you see how I have it kind of each one going in its own direction. That is obviously just for the sake of space. So this randomizer here I already have completely done. I have the redstone outputs hooked up to each of the command blocks, and make sure that the command blocks down here hooked up to the randomizers are set to Minecraft Air, because you want the redstone blocks to go away. And so when they go away, obviously the lamps will turn off, and that is what makes it look like the pins have been knocked over. So as you can see, this is completely set up, and these 4 blocks are set to knock out 4 of these. I will, in just a second, when I set up a row of command blocks over here, I will explain exactly which ones go to which set of pins. But each of these command blocks is set to one coordinate that goes to an individual redstone block up there. And then I am going to be setting up another randomizer right here for you guys, just to show you how it hooks up to the command blocks and everything. Even though I already built one over there, I'll just go through this super fast and show you guys. I have these command blocks all set up. The only ones I'm going to be showing you is this row here, just so that I can explain and so you guys can see the method I use, because I kinda was forced to figure out the most efficient way. So in this case, for the randomizer, you're going to want to make sure you have 14 building blocks, because there's going to be 2 extra, as you can see here, for the output. And then you're going to need 4 redstone dust again, but 16 more, in this case, for the 16 command blocks that are here. That's 10, and this is 6. And then you're going to need 2 repeaters, a comparator, hopper, dropper, observer, sticky piston, and then you're going to need these items again, the non-stackable and the stackable. So let me go ahead and break this chest, and I'll build it super fast. I have this middle one sticking out 2 extra blocks from the repeater, just to keep everything separated and neat. So this is the plus. Break out the middle block, repeater goes to that side, block in the middle, and then we'll make our L, the block there, and there, redstone dust, comparator, dropper, hopper, come on the back side, sticky piston, and then these are the 2 blocks for the output on each side, just like that. You want to make sure your redstone dust is on that side and your repeater is there. I'll go ahead and put my items in the dropper. Definitely don't forget that. And then you want your observers just like that, and you run the redstone along the command blocks. Kind of had a brain fart there. just like that. And so now that one is completely hooked up. And I'll go ahead and throw an item in this hopper here, and you guys will see one of the possibilities will come out, and those redstone blocks up there will go away for each of the possibilities. So in that case, you saw it did this one first, and that made it a strike. So I left this one open too to hook the redstone up to as well, and this is just going to be the exact same thing as that. I think I need to put the items in there too. So you just want to make sure my repeater's not even in there. Repeater wool goes there and there. Redstone comparator there. Sticky piston there. Redstone dust. Repeater. And then your items. And then I'll go ahead and set up the observer here and here. And I'll run redstone across these command blocks, which are already set up. However, now I will get to show you how I set up these command blocks. So you want to place them there, and since these are technically, I call this the left hopper, because if you're facing from this side where you bowl, it's on the left side, even though when you're looking at it from this way, it looks like it's on the right. But on the left hopper, it's going to be knocking over the left pins, obviously. And I set up these 6 command blocks, and the ones that they are hooked up to are this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So that little miniature triangle is one of the possibilities, and the second possibility, which is the ones that I'm going to be setting up right now, is this one, this one, this one, and that one. So slightly unluckier, but it's still obviously hitting the same side. And then how to put these commands in. Since I have already gotten the coordinates for all the blocks I need, and I know which one goes to which, so the command block is above the redstone lamp that its coordinates correlate to. All I need to do is know which lamps I'm going to, come up here, select it, and hit copy. Then I come down here to one of the command blocks, paste it in there, and then I just have to make sure that I change this to air. Or it could be a different block, as long as it doesn't give a redstone signal to the lamp, then it will turn it off. But air is obviously the most obvious, the most convenient. So here I'm just copying the next one, coming down here to the second command block, pasting it in, changing this to air, and come up here to this one because I'm doing these 4. Copy it, paste, air, and then just one more, copy, and paste, change to air. So that is how I set up the command blocks. And now the entire thing should be working, except I have 2 more notes to give you guys. So these right here are hooked up to the back side of the first droppers that come down from the 3 main hoppers. And what these are is the exact same thing as the red system over there, and this is just the row of 3. And then what I do and how I hook up these droppers down here to be able to dispense the items that come into them is I run redstone across the last set of command blocks here and just make a staircase down and run it along underneath this second ice I don't know what to call it, ice lane, I guess, because it's a bowling lane. Run it along underneath there and hook it up to 3 repeaters going into these dispensers. And that way, actually, you probably want some delay. I think I have a lot more of a delay on the other one, so I'll go ahead and do that just so it'll all work out fine. This is how we learn, is we go through and double check our work. And then just make sure you have redstone signal going to all 3 of these dispensers, And this is the easiest way to hook it up. You might find a different way to hook it up, but it's kind of the most linear, and it doesn't take up any extra space. And then the very last thing, all it's going to be is the reset, which is what lights up all those lamps again. And I just have that hooked up underneath this main platform, right underneath where the button or the lever is. So the button works just by having redstone across these command blocks. And these command blocks are identical to each one's up there. They just fill behind the redstone lamps with redstone blocks. And I just copy and pasted each of those down into here. But if you prefer a lever to control it, then I will show you how to do that. All you're going to need is the lever, obviously, and then a note block and an observer. I definitely prefer the lever, so that's why I'm showing you guys this. So you just want to make sure that you place the note block exactly below where the lever is. So right there. And then you want your observer to be facing the note block and sending the redstone signal out of it. And it's as simple as that. So now, let me go bowling. I'm going to throw that down there, and it should cut off some of the lights. There we go. I hit the left side. That's promising because that's the side that I just set up, so I know I set it up correctly. Now if I flip this lever, it resets it. So I hope you guys found this interesting and useful, and I also hope that you like my design of this bowling alley. Make sure you let me know what you think about it, and tell me anything you think I should add or improve on, and I would love to, because I've had a lot of fun messing with this and designing it, and I was actually unable to find anything quite like it on YouTube. So I hope that you haven't seen anything like it either, and that you enjoyed watching me run through how I built it, and that you found something useful and can maybe even build it for yourself. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe for more redstone tutorials and other Minecraft videos. Leave a comment and any other suggestions for other redstone tutorials, and I'll be glad to do them. Or, like I said before, make sure you tell me what you think about this build or anything else that I should do to it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.